Hey, Solette.
Hey.
How are you? How you do?
My pits are too. I'm a little nervous, but I'll be all right. Pit's
But
not
you know
dripping too
what?
bad right now. I'm okay.
You're with me. We got Jenkins love. We're together.
Oh,
Not,
absolutely.
but we're
That's some
here.
good stuff.
We are
We
here,
got good stuff.
and
That's
we're
good
here
stuff.
to celebrate you and the other artists that are part of the Reclamation Project for She Who Is. Let me do my. This is the last. Not the last ever, but of this particular installation. This is my our final artist talk. And I'm so glad that it's with you. So I'm going to do my last spiel. My name is Kimberly Stewart Lucas, also known as Warrior Mama of Absolute Divine Events. And again, as I mentioned, this is our final artist talk for the Reclamation Project for She Who Is. And I am joined by a beautiful sister, AKA part of my Jenkins family.
Olay.
Wait, can I just tell you, I wish I could show you. I have in my phone your name with Jenkins as a last name. So I'm going to introduce you.
I take that.
So I like to present to everyone. So who is a featured artist in the show, give her a round of applause, please. Please. You know what? We are having fun tonight. I want to have fun because this is a celebration. So tomorrow is the closing reception of the Reclamation Project for She Who Is, a Tri-Cities tattoo company in East Point, Georgia. If anyone's watched any of the talks, you know that I am very, very, very proud of this collection of work.
Talented sisters up in there.
And you are of that talented group.
I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it.
So I have to start. Let's go back for this particular exhibit. Now we can go back further because you've never been to any of the reclamations before, right? You were in.
I've been in Michigan.
That's right.
I've been in Michigan, but
the 2018 to 2019.
I've been following. So I love the way that, the whole idea of it, where it started, the story behind it. When I think about when you were a little girl and seeing the I understood that, and understanding where the beauty comes from, where the raw beauty comes from. So
absolutely.
This was good. I was glad to be a part of this. I've been watching it for some years. And it's been some talent throwing some mad art up in there. I'm like, I'm gonna start with
the beginning of you being involved with this exhibit because I think it was a Sunday, and I get a text message from my Jenkins here, and she's asking in very general terms, what does it take for artists?
What must one do? What must one do to be a part of the Reclamation Project? What must one do?
I looked at that message. I said, who is she speaking on behalf of, or is she talk about her? Because I know. Let's just take it even further back. It was through Keisha that I believe we met, right? And the celebrations, the Cinco de Mayo celebrations that we would have, right?
Yeah.
And y'all got to know, Solette is one of, and I know a lot of creative people, right? I mean, just that's the community we're part of, but you work on a very large scale, and your creativity is, it's life size. When I say it's life size, it is life size. Like having pinatas that are our height, that are filled with ramen noodles and condoms and money and candy, or
lube
the house
noodles, everying you need for a date night.
She said lube and noodles. Yes, this is grown talk. So even the house what was the sign that you built for House in the Park, right? You built a sign for
the house that Jack built.
The house that Jack built. Look, that's when we were trying to get your daughter to have a baby. Is that the same year?
We did. No, that wasn't that year. It was year 10 that we tried to get her to have the baby. Well, we had the birthing tent. Yeah,
we had a birthing tent, y'all. Her daughter was expecting, and we had Taj on standby. Look, we wanted to have a house in the park baby. We wanted a house in the park baby, and it didn't happen. That's okay. But that was my introduction to your creativity and how massive. And then also, I don't think you invited me, but I had never gone to one of your holiday parties, like your Halloween parties, but I saw all the pictures.
Oh, that's an event. That's an event that take a month and a half to get together.
So there'll be one next year.
Stuff for the parties.
There'll be one next year.
I'm thinking one next year. I really missed it this year. I would have wanted to do one this year, but it's kind of COVID-y outside.
There we
go.
It's
kind of COVID-y outside.
You said COVID-y.
So it's COVID-y.
that is true.
Once we get rid of COVID, I'm gonna love any reason to, to me, a party is not a real party. It's just a get together, unless you have decorations. Then it's a party.
She said it. You
gotta have the right decorations.
That was my introduction to you. And then, like I said, you sent a text message when I think I initially put the word out about this particular exhibit, Reclamation. And so I said, you know what? Everything starts with a conversation. Let me call her and find out exactly what she means by this text. And sure enough, you showed interest. And I was honored. Like, let's do this. Because one... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking that whole thing was kind of divine. Because, I was in Michigan for 3 years, and the space that we were in a small apartment. We knew we were coming back, but we were in a small apartment, and it didn't allow me to create. I like to make
on your scale,
big stuff,
Exactly.
But even a small project can take up a lot of space, with all the different, items that you have, all the different mediums that you use. So it takes up space. So yeah, I do like making things on a big, in a big way. So when I came back here, I was really just thinking about what I wanted to do.
Yes.
What I wanted to create. Because, I can create anything, but I wanted to be inspired by something, and I wanted to do something. And the mood that I'm in is very much surrounding this whole reclamation project. So the mood that I'm in, I'm, in love and, in a relationship, and is great and he's wonderful, but I was thinking about just different things that I could create. What was moving me? Yes. And I was just thinking long before I even saw the when you first put out the information about the Reclamation Project, I was like, because I'm I like some sexy stuff. So I was like, I would really like to make some really cool bedroom art. So I'm kind of asking people and just kind of going around, what would you hang in your bedroom? I remember my stepmother, she had this picture in her room with my dad. And it was this picture of this woman where she was laying on this bed of like fluffy toilet paper or something. And all you saw was her butt. And, like she was laying down, you saw the back of her was her butt, and it was sexy. And I was like, that's really cool. So I'm just thinking, what would people want to hang up in their bedroom, some bedroom art, and I want to create something that fits the size of a king size mattress, something that'll, and then I saw your Reclamation Project, and I'm like, this is cool. This is from the heavens. Because sometimes with artists, you need a hard deadline with some projects, or you need, because you can create and create and create.
But then I have something to create for, like an end result. Like, what is this going to culminate into?
It was right there along the lines of what I wanted to do. So it's all been divine. Yes. So you saying yes?
and for me, it was an honor because your piece, and I want to get into that. Do you mind if I share it now?
I don't mind at all.
Your piece, and this is from your Instagram page. Let me actually go and show the whole piece. That's you and your piece. That's us. That's you and your man. That's us. That's y'all. Hey. That's y'all. That's y'all.
That's me. That's me. Oh, that's my love.
That's you from behind.
Hey, woody. Where is it?
Where did I put the actual? I know it's in here. I'm gonna scroll through.
That's him. We were trying to get him to grab my boob. He just wouldn't. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Like, come on, you gotta represent.
There it is. There's the piece right there. Please share. This is called Sacred Space, correct?
Shared space.
But it is sacred. Shared space.
Absolutely.
And Could you share? Oh boy. Okay. So there's a couple of layer questions I want. First, share what even inspired you to do this, like in thought, in theory, right? Before you even sketched out whatever you did. And then also share the actual physical process of like creating it. Like,
Okay,
how did you get there?
All right. So what I did, I really went, I wrote down, I jotted down a lot of things that came to mind when answering the question, because there was two parts to this project this time. You know, we could have chosen photographs that motivated us from the 1970s and 80s, or we could have answered the question of our own reclamation.
Yes.
And I thought about where I was right now. You know, where am I with you know, myself and my sexuality, and you know, all the questions asked by somebody's declined, somebody's calling my phone. Okay, sorry.
I see you on Facebook. I see you on Facebook.
Can you see that? Okay, my bad.
I can't see it. No, I can't see it. I can't see it.
You're like, hey girl. Hey, if you're out there and you're watching, don't call me for the next hour. All right. Okay. All right. So with this, what I did was I thought about the question that you asked, and I just start writing. All of these different things that I was feeling and where I was. And I thought about where, as far as like my relationship, you know, where I am right now, because I've been a single woman for my life, you know, all my life. I've been pretty single, you know. After I had my daughter, you know, it was like, she's my focus. And that was my focus. I said back then, when she's grown and gone, I'm gonna have a relationship the way I want, because I knew I couldn't have it, or I felt like I couldn't have it.
You felt like you can
at the time. So where I'm thinking where I am now, she's grown, you know, she's doing her thing, and it's my time. And the right person, the only person who could have fit this space right now, came back into my life. The only person. And it was just like, okay, I've spent a life where I've been okay with sleeping alone. You know, I'm like my dad, you know, I'm a big daddy's girl. And he was, you know, putting me, you know, you be independent and you don't act like a wife until somebody make you a wife. And I'm not a wife yet, but it's coming. But I've lived a life where it was like, well, you know, this ain't my husband. I ain't making no plates. I ain't doing that. But it was just like when I'm telling you, girl, I was like, you got arms too.
I ain't making no plates.
Making dinners and all of this stuff. This is new for me. It's new.
Woo!
So, you know, he just don't know how much I was not that woman. You know, it was very much, you know, I'm not doing those things. But it was just like, until it's right, you know, it's right, then I'll give my all when it's right. And, you know, to me, like the whole thing with sharing a bed, you know, sharing a space, you know, I've people talked about the intimacy of it, but I didn't understand it. You know, I knew one day I would have it, but I didn't understand it. The conversations that you have, the decisions that you make, you know, just the way you connect with somebody when you're in bed. You know, I didn't understand those things. I just heard about them. So for me, it was like, I'm in this space right now with the right guy to be able to feel comfortable enough to give my all. And so, you know, and that means even like sexually, you know, sexually, where this question asked, you know, I've, you know, had some freaky thoughts, but I felt like not everybody deserved that freak, you know, so sharing a bed to me was, you know, has always been a big deal.
You had to earn it. You had to earn it.
Had to earn it. I wasn't giving it away. I didn't give it away. You know, so it wasn't until 47, you know, when he came back into my life where I was like, you know, this is it. This is the time where I can do these things. So when I created this piece and when I had to answer the question, it was about, you know, because I had all different kind of ideas where, you know, it was the bed was going to speak and this and that. And it was all, and I was like, the bed is taking up too much space in the 40 by 30 inches that we're given. I was like, I think the people, you know, because I did a smaller sculpture. I did a smaller one where the bed would have fit. And I was like, this will be nice, bigger. So I when I thought about the whole idea of it, to talk about the space, or even like with the two people, you get the freaky, you get to rub on these nipples, you get to be rubbing up on this booty, you get all of that, and knowing that it's something more than just a casual sport. It's something more meaningful, so it was, that's what motivated me to do this piece, where it's like, okay, it's these two people in this space and they can do anything. So with this being a series, because I created more than one piece in this. So it was like, I couldn't decide which positions I wanted to do or how I wanted to do
all of
it.
them. So do all of them. Do all the positions.
It's endless. Oh my goodness, the ideas, they're out there. I got ideas. They out there. So I'm working on some things. So this I have 3 now and 2 others that's sketched out to work on. So with that, it was like, it was about the intimacy. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted that, you can be intimate and sweet and a freak and all of those things, and give it to them freely with the right person. You in the right space, then you can share this space with somebody, and I can give you all of that, all of me. And that's what that piece represented. That's what that represented for me.
Y'all have to come see it. Like I said, if you're in the Georgia, I'm not going to even say the Atlanta area, because you can come from Kennesaw, you can come from Macon. Come on up here tomorrow.
You can drive from Augusta. I know some Augustans out there.
So, look, you can do Savannah.
Come on, drive this way.
You can do Savannah.
But a James Brown statue. Come on.
That's in Macon. Ain't it?
So Augusta? No, that's Augusta. That's Augusta. They advertise it. That's all they got. They got a James Brown statue.
This makes me think of a story.
Y'all all right.
This makes me think of a story. My father used to travel from Atlanta to Augusta. He worked for Bell South before it was AT&T and all that good stuff. And he said he heard a radio commercial one time, and it was the James Brown car alert. And he used to go, wow.
James Brown is a big deal in Augusta. He's a big deal. God. That's all they got. They got James Brown.
I remember my father told me that story.
Augusta, if you're in Augusta, it's only an hour and a half to come see the show.
Oh yeah, and you got
RSVP. All of Georgia. It's a whole lot of dance space in Georgia.
And this is the thing, when the show is concluded tomorrow, and I'm gonna be all kinds of emotional, so there'll probably be pictures that somebody takes of me doing this or wiping my nose or something. There will be an opportunity via video to see the work that's being produced by Will Fagans Jr., who's one of our sponsors. He's an amazing filmmaker, and actually did the video that opened up this our artist talk tonight. He just captures.
I love his videos. That's been my only way to kind of see things.
To see it, right? And do you feel it? You felt
emotional.
It's very emotional,
especially the one with your dad. The one with your dad.
And he was very careful about
because
that.
I know that feeling of that daddy's girl thing. I'm a daddy's girl too. So, when I thought about that too, I'm like, with this being inspired by dad,
and he got to make the first one. He got to make the first one. This is the thing. He didn't fully understand. It wasn't like a cognitive thing. I don't think he really didn't get it. Like these magazines, Players magazines, the reason why this show is called For She Who Is, the theme or the tagline for the magazines was For He Who Is. And so it was the Black man's Playboy, and it was for men. Right? For their pleasure, for their leisure, for their whatever. And so to do an all women artist show For She Who Is, and now even back in 2018, when I did the first show, he was like, are women coming? And I was like, Daddy, do you think that your daughter is gonna, it wasn't like but it was like, yes, Daddy, women can celebrate, are allowed and have the freedom to celebrate their sexuality, their naked bodies. And it's the thing too, nakedness is not a requirement for sexuality and sensuality. There were some artists that were like, I don't really do. I said, you don't have to. You could be turtlenecked up and be the sexiest thing walking, right?
Absolutely.
So it's not,
absolutely.
But in this particular, you know, it was a magazine with nude pictures. So that's why we go that route, because that's what inspired the exhibit. But the show was March of 2018, and he passed away in July. So it was really special that he was, and even Will was very empathetic to that process. Like, he had put pictures in, put that video in, and he was like, hey, you know, I just want, because he let me see the cut before we released it. And he was like, I just want you to know that your dad is in it. And I'm not sure how you'll feel about that. And I just appreciate him and his friendship, because, you know, I was grieving when the video came out. I don't even know when it came out, but it was after he passed away that came out, because he was like, heads up, like, I did include it because he understood the connection and the, you know, how special it was. Absolutely. So the whole point of all that was, there's a video that will be coming out featuring the artwork for this particular exhibit, and also you'll get to hear from most of the artists. I don't have all 24 of you. I do have, look, those audio clips I do have, y'all showed out on those. I don't know how many takes it took.
Well, I was thinking, I know, just like when you told us to give a three sentence description, you know, and I was thinking, I can't get everything in 3 sentences.
But you did really well with what you did.
Precedes what I had to say, and there's something that comes after. But I mean, I figure we'll get a chance to say what we have to say. The minute did give me a little, you know, time to kind of get it in.
Look, so let's be limited on the size, on the description, on the audio. She's like, let me produce big.
I'm like, will we get a minute? I called you. I'm like, girl, I think it's a minute and 2 seconds. I'm gonna get it in there. And I'm telling you, if I could have fit something in every corner of the 30 by 40, girl,
I know you could.
I just love to create. I just love to create on a big scale. I love to create. I just love.
Well, you know, I am so grateful for Tri-Cities Tattoo Company, for Brother Red, Tyrone Red Cooley, who is the proprietor of that establishment, for allowing me to come back again. And but it is a certain space and size of the shop, right? So the whole listen, Solette, if you were participating in 2018, your size would have been 24 by 36.
I would have made it work.
When we went, I know you would have, but when we went to Arts Exchange in 2019, it was a gallery. It was a lot larger. It was the video that we played in the beginning. And so I increased it to 30 by 40 because I was like, okay, we have more real. I look at it as real estate, right? The wall space.
Right.
So we got more space here. And so I was like, well, let's see if we can do that over at Tri-Cities again. And again, not everybody produces the 30 by 40. Exactly. I think a lot of people did do this time.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them that was straight 30 by 40.
That was straight 30. But I will tell you, my husband, Lord Yada, is a amazing curator as well. And I said in every video, I'm gonna say this last.
Thank you, Yada. Thank you, Yada. He's amazing.
He's the other artist in the show that's not on the flyer, because the way in which he hung the show is beautiful. It tells a story. Like where pieces are set up, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Speaking of that, can you share the night, how you felt when you all, first of all, you came in like blazing, like not just was your, let me go back to this thing. Look, hold on, wait. Let me go back to this real quick. Not only did you come in, that's the beginnings of that. We'll come to that.
Raw.
Look at this. Look at all that.
See, let me tell you, Kim. The day that we brought the art in, that I wasn't gonna wear that. I was gonna wear, all that. I was gonna wear something else, something else. Okay. And I talked to you that day And when I brought the piece in, and I think you asked me or I asked you, well, what are you gonna wear? And your response was, "Oh my God, my dress is coming in the mail today." I'm thinking, oh, we doing it like that? That's what we doing? We ordering dresses? We gotta get. I'm like, man, we gotta get dressed. This is we coming to the event. We gotta get dressed. So I'm telling you, he picked out the shoe, or he liked the shoes. He was like, "Babe, you gotta get the shoe. I get the shoe." So it was like, okay, and I'm like, "Come on, babe, let's coordinate. Let's coordinate our love." So we coordinated.
I love it. So when you walked in, it was a scene for me because I'm right at the front table checking folk in. Tell me what you felt about the night. Like, how did you feel that night? Seeing your work on the wall, like the whole experience. Because y'all stayed a little later.
You said we could have stayed later?
No, I said y'all stayed. But y'all stayed later, like than I think what you anticipated. Am I not right?
Yeah, I did, because I thought that we were only supposed to be there for half an hour slots. And see,
that's just
like
the people that are here.
We like old people. We comfortable at home, take the shoes off, kick it, get in the snore. We out early, and we always far as the can't see at night. So I'm like, babe, this is gonna drive home. We're gonna go out, we're gonna have a good time. But the night was magical, because it was a build up to everything, just like whenever I'm creating anything, if I'm doing anything in that hard deadline, it's like I'm on crack for like 4 days. And I mean, I don't know what crack is like. I really don't, but I'm just assuming if crack is great,
assuming what they say is like.
I ain't never had crack, but I'm assuming that my artistic, drive is kind of like crack. It just feels real good. And it, I don't know, maybe coke. I don't know what drug either way, it's a drug. It feels like a drug. And I'm flying for days, where it's like I'm creating, I'm in a zone. You can't nothing, stop. If I don't have a hard deadline, nothing will ever get done, because it's like I can always paint a little more or sculpt a little more or do a little more.
I'm married to one. I know the piece is never finished.
It's never finished. Not to the artist. It's never finished.
Solette, do you mind sharing a little bit of the story of because this piece that's on the wall at Tri-Cities Tattoo Company ain't the first rendition of shared space.
No, it's a couple more. It's a few more. So I mean, just okay. When I think about that,
I'm talking about the first one.
Oh, the first one. Okay, like when I was saying earlier that I had this whole idea that included a bed that was going to tell a story. So I made a smaller version that would have fit this space. So it was made out of like this. The medium for this piece is joint compound and drywall. So I took the drywall, I cut out the shape, and I sculpted around that. But the first piece that I did was made of clay. Now, I don't know if my grandson, I don't know what he was thinking, because the first piece looked more like Tony and me. It had my hair, had Tony. It looked kind of like, oh, that's you and Tony. So my grandson took my sculpting tools and he chipped the hell out of it. He chipped the shit out of it. He chipped it in pieces. He chipped it. Now that's not tell my daughter, because I wore his ass out. Excuse me, Facebook. But he got his ass, she said I abused him. I ain't abused him. I old school whooped him. Maybe new school abuse, but old school got what you needed. You told Premier stuff. So, but I didn't tell her it was a blessing in disguise, and I'm damn sure not gonna let them know it was a blessing.
So what you just did, because it's gonna be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
But me and my daughter are not connected by social media. She like she don't want me in her business, and I'm cool with her not being in mine. So I can talk about my sex life on my page, and she's all right, because she don't want to hear. So she ain't gonna. I'll let her hear it later. But either way, it was a blessing in disguise. If she know now, she can know now. But I let her suffer for this long that, oh, you tore up my stuff. He tore up my stuff.
But listen, not even that. Not even that of you having.
He chipped it. He chipped the hell out of it. He stabbed it. He crunched it. He messed it up. And so I'm thinking, okay, durability. I need a little bit more durability here. You know, especially if I'm thinking of going bigger. You know, you can't go bigger with the clay. No. So it was a blessing in disguise. It was a blessing. It was a blessing. I ain't tell him that, but he get more popsicles these days. Oh, God. He got his ass toe up there. But he all right. Listen. But yeah, it was a smaller one. It looked just like me. That one had locks. It had locks. It had, it had the bang like me. It was up head. So it was me. He probably was thinking, Grammy don't need to have nobody touching her nipples. I don't know what he was thinking. Why
I don't like this.
Didn't go over well with the grandson. So it was all right. It was all right. He chipped the shit out of it, but I had to start all over from scratch. And I mean, when I think about this, what was funny, I'm like, okay, it's the right time for me to do it. Grandson is there. At this point, this is what Grammy does. This is what Grammy does. Grammy creates erotic art. That's what she does.
Love that you're called Grammy. I love that part. Can we talk about that part? That you're called Grammy.
Yeah, I wanted it to be something a little funky. And since my name is French, I was like, and I had all my friends that came from Louisiana after Katrina. They tell me I pronounce it wrong. It's supposed to be Grammy or something special. But we're going to say Grammy.
Look, we're going to say it the way it's
Hey, that's the way grandson says it.
When you brought the piece to the shop, this is another layer of your creation, right? When you brought the piece to the shop to drop off, as the other artists did that day, or most of them did, something happened then.
Yeah, I crunched it, bringing it in the door. But that turned out to be a blessing too.
Right? So here we go. All these different factions of like the first one being chopped the hell up, right? And the next one being chipped. Yeah. And you were actually willing to go get your stuff and bring. Yana was like, take it home. Your stuff is there. Like, we'll see tomorrow, right?
It was like another day of crack. My assumption of what crack would be.
Well, we assume it to be. We don't know these things. I assume
great crack would be. It was another great night of.
You said great crack, not just crack, but great crack.
I don't know if it's levels of crack. I don't know. I'm assuming maybe it's a grade of crack. I don't know. But if good crack is a good night of creating art, then I'm just relating it to something great. They say it's great. They say crack is great. So this art creating, this is my crack.
We're not promoting crack tonight. We're not promoting crack.
We're not promoting crack. We promoting creation. Yes. We promoting creation. And I think about this and I'm like, it's amazing because I'm thinking, had I been creating a piece for you 4.5, 5 years ago, it would have been for She Who Masturbates. It would have been a whole different story. It would have been a whole solo kind of deal. It wouldn't have been a nipple twist. It would have been a solo deal. So, for She Who Is right now, she in love. She getting it. She getting it good. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
And we don't. You said it. We celebrate it. We celebrate it. And you feel that when you stand in front of your piece, like you feel this is a very. First of all, you're being let into this scene in someone's boudoir, right? This is them coming together. Like it's a very intimate, sensual piece. Like it's beautiful, Solette. I
thought about that before I created anything because that's what I wanted to give off. I wanted it to be intimate. I wanted it to be, I wanted it to be the two people. I didn't want it to be raunchy, even though a sister is capable if you got a deposit in the idea. A sister is capable of raunchy. But I wanted it to be intimate and I wanted it to say, it said what I wanted. You know, the series says what I wanted to say. The two people together, where it's not just sexual, but it's something more than that. It's sexual
and spiritual. It's spiritual. It's almost like you're being given permission. You are privileged to be able to see this moment with this couple that is loving each other in a way, you know, it's a very intimate, beautiful piece. It just is. I need people
Tony is he's my first love. You know, he's my first love when it was pure, and you know, he loved me when I had a Jerry curl, you know, and that Jerry curl was on top of a perm. So it was kind of ugly. You know, it was like, who does that? You know, back in the day, you know, before you knew that you were supposed to have natural hair. So I had the perm, and then made, you know, put the Jerry curl so it was curly at the base and straight. So he loved me then, you know, like when it was like, you know.
He loved you in all the ways, always.
Yeah, back when one boob grew and the other one didn't. You remember back in the day when you only got one at a time? So it was like that raw, pure. See,
we already talked about it tonight.
I had one boob for a whole summer, just one.
Listen,
and I think it was just a nipple I might have got. Yeah, because the guys in the neighborhood called me Nibbles for a minute. So
no, they did not, Solette. No, they didn't.
They called me Nibble. They did. It was just one nibble. It wasn't even a whole boob. It was just. But anyway, the man loved me. He loved me then, with one tit and a half a Jerry curl. You know, so for us to connect again, as adults with permission to be as free as we want, you know,
you celebrate that.
It's been the realest. It's been the realest.
You celebrate that.
You know, where you can, you know, have that kind of stuff that take you to the, you know, like the song say, the stars and the moons and the mountains, you know, you feel that stuff for real. You know, with her teardrops and be like, damn, man, that was really good. That was really good, man. You know,
look,
you want to create behind that. You got all kind of, he's a muse. He motivates me.
When you were up in Michigan, I loved seeing it. Like, we missed you, but I love seeing why you weren't here. I got it. Like, it was like she moved for a reason. It's a life-changing reason.
Yeah,
like we saw it. We saw it, Solette. We saw it
here, and I needed to be here. And when people said, you know, they was like, I can tell by the smile on your face, it's different. You know, I started going through some of my old Facebook pictures, and I'm like, I was cute and I was smiling, but this is a whole different kind of cheese.
This is a different kind of smile.
Mozzarella cheese. This is some cheesy cheese. This is like Velveeta cheese. It's thick. It was
thick,
this was like,
gooey, stretching apart with the little. It's cheese.
She cheesing, authentically cheesing. The man makes me authentically cheese.
Yes, and that's a love that so many people desire.
I didn't hear you.
I said that's a love that so many people, I think, they long for. You know, they want it, they desire that.
I longed for it. I prayed for it. You know, it was like it made me think of one of my African dance instructor. You know, we were joking one day, and you know, I'm all single, and she was talking about a dream she had about somebody else finding their love, and I'm like, well, why don't you have a dream about me finding mine? And she like, well, what do you pray for? And you know, I'm still in that mood where I ain't making plates. I'm like, I ain't praying for that. And she was like, well, you got what you're praying for. You ain't praying for it, you ain't getting it.
You ain't gonna get it.
And so, you know, I became more specific. You know, I became more intimate with that prayer. And me and a friend of mine, one of my friends of Benny, we were talking about it not long before Tony came back into my life. And we were talking about our list, you know, because we all had this list, this single woman list of requirements. And I'm like, you know, just when Tony came along, he was that list. You know, I said when he came back along, because we weren't together for a long time, and that's his story to tell. But the whole time that we weren't together, he was the measure of who I loved. because
Yes.
I loved him initially when it was pure and young and innocent.
Yes. Yes.
And from then until now, it was like I would meet people. I might have even thought I was in love with people. And it was just like, okay, the measure is, if Tony walks into my life right now,
What
am
would
I
you do?
staying with this dude that I think I like and love, or is it Tony? And it was always Tony. It was always Tony. So this whole thing with Tony is divine, and being in Michigan, his thing was, I just want to take care of you while you do what you want to do. And that's what he's done. So being here, and I think he, when I tell him about my art stuff initially, what I want to do and how I'm doing my thing, and, the plans that I have, the business plans, the way it's set out to do things in big ways, I don't think he really connected with it until the art show. I don't think he really connected with it. I think he kind of looked at it like, yeah, I know you like to do stuff and I know you're good at it, but I don't think he looked at it because we've been in Michigan in our small apartment, and we've been back here for a year. So I'm just now having the ability to get back into my thing. And the art show, the exhibit, was my first opportunity to show him how it can be done. So to sit down with you and yada the way we did, the way we talked about it, gave him a different kind of understanding too about how this thing works,
this
and how to maneuver it.
Even me growing up, before, I've always been part of a connected or creative family community, but this is our life. Me and y'all have been together for 20 years. And like, to know that a lot of people don't understand that, yes, you can make a living and take care of a family and raise a family off of your creative endeavors, right?
Absolutely.
You can make,
I mean, it's not that
more.
9 to 5.
It's
I didn't hear you.
I said,
not that
and possibly make more.
Not that, it's not that consistent thing. It's not, it might be here this month or the month after, it's not consistent. So, the way we partner, where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to take care of you. You do your thing. And my thing has always been, well, with that arrangement, my thing to take care of things too.
Exactly. And that's the thing though, Solette, it can be consistent. It absolutely can be. It can be
it absolutely can be.
Absolutely can be, where you have your whole 2022 is booked up with shows. Like, I need you to see that. I need you to see and start planning, because we're at the end of 2021, right? We should already have already, and I'm saying this to myself, having the first quarter already planned, right? But it is absolutely possible for you to be able to thrive off of what you love to do.
And I understand that. Yeah. My thing is just like how, before I moved to Georgia, I did hair. I was the stylist in Detroit. The best natural hairstylist before I left there.
She said the best.
I started off the best. Anybody will attest to that. Before I left there, it was me. And the thing was, I knew that the way that I said what I just said, as far as the art is concerned, the consistency of it, when you starting off initially, when you starting off, when I started off, I started off with one client, and people were saying you're charging too much. And I'm like, I know my worth. So when this one person goes out into the street, they're going to send me 2 people back paying me my worth. So I understand that the consistency in starting off, that's what I'm not
you're
saying
right.
It can't be consistent, because I know it can be.
Yes,
but just like what I'm saying, the way that we partnered up, where he's saying, I got you. I got you while you get back into your thing. So it gives me the opportunity to do it on the level that I want to do it. So, and this was a beautiful introduction to me coming back here and putting my work out there, and, getting started in a whole different way, getting my, putting together my gallery online and different things that I'm doing. This was a beautiful beginning. It was divine for me to come and do this with you. It was perfect. Was it absolutely divine? It was absolutely divine. I got absolutely divine. Absolutely divine.
I gotta plug Absolutely Divine events. So we're kind of talking about it. What's next for you, Solette? Like, what is your 2022? What do you want it to look like?
Well, I want it to look exactly like you just said a few minutes ago. Book shows completely. So what I'm doing now, I have, I'm working on 4 different pieces. What I would really love is, because I like the natural body. Yes. And a lot of these pieces are my body. So they're my body, so I have to, I would love to get some models. Anybody out there who like to volunteer nude, all sizes, shapes. If you are wanting to get out there, I would love to, because I like to.
All right, Solette, you ain't said number the word.
I want models. I want people who are not afraid to show me their body and contort it and get up close with somebody else. I don't care the sexuality. I don't care the size. I don't care the color. I don't care. I just want to put together, I have these ideas in my mind. And trust me, I've tried to get into bed and take my own pictures, and it don't work like that. It don't work. So I really would love to have as some models so that I can. Yeah. I would sculpt a whole scene on an entire wall. I just want that. So at this point, I'm working every day. I can go to bed at night sculpting, wake up in the morning sculpting, and that's what I've been doing lately. So it's pretty much just like there are more shows, but I know the shows want to see work, and a lot of I haven't had I'm working on things to put out there. I have some that are not done. I have some that's done, but I'm going in a certain direction where I need new stuff, new stuff. I did in the past more, novelty things, like you said, with the Cinco de Mayo. That started when Keisha showed me. She was like, I'm having this big party, and here's my piñata. It was like dangling like this, like little, here's my piñata. I'm like, I'll be back tomorrow with a piñata worthy of this
That's
party.
Your size.
That's the hey. So I came in with the 1800 bottle that was 5 feet tall. Yes. And, so the thing with me is more at this point, like some of the things, like I've done things for, different parties, different events, but at this point it's more about moving into, like I've done the parade floats, I've done parade floats where it's like, how big, when that idea came, it was like, well, how big can I get into some, so I started doing the parade floats. Before I left, I was getting into that. And so right about now, I just want to be able to create, or I am creating, bigger pieces and more pieces for home, not the more novelty thing. Like when I did the Halloween party and everybody came in the door and it was like a big giant head and they came through the mouth to get into the party, more things that, nobody's going to hang that big head up in their living room. So more things that are more marketable for homes and bedrooms or living rooms or, adult things. Or, I can do kid things too, but it's just the kid things are not my thing. I'm capable of it, but,
You like adult things. You like adult themes.
I do. I do. But a deposit in an idea will go a long way.
Hey, now. Show me this.
It goes a long way.
So we are 10 minutes, actually 9 minutes. We're 9 minutes before the top of the hour. Let's see how that went, Solette.
I know, and I was so nervous. I'm telling you, my pits was sweating all before 8 o'clock. Like, how am I going to talk for an hour?
It goes by quick, and this has been so enjoyable. Let people know where they can follow you now, where you want them to meet you and see what you're doing and what you're going to be doing. Let folks know where they can follow you.
Okay, well, at this point, Solette Ettelos on Facebook, or Solette Ettelos on Instagram. And Solette Ettelos is just my first name, and my last name is spelled backwards.
I just realized that today. Today, I'm typing and I'm like, wait a minute. E-T-T-E. Wait a minute.
Yeah, just my first name spelled backwards. First time I saw it, I was like, that is so smooth not to use that. That is too freaking cool. So
it just dawned on me today.
Yeah. Child. So, you can follow me there and see, because at this point, the next thing I'll be doing, I like to put the process. I like for people to see how things are done. So I'll be putting the process, probably tomorrow. I'm out of town. If anybody noticed that, I'm in a hotel room. I'm not in Michigan. I really wanted to be there for the closing of the show, but I'm here in Michigan with my love. This piece in the back is as creative as we could get in this hotel room. Everything in here is brown.
It could have been a little more creative, but we'll do that next time.
Hey, the idea, I'm telling you, I almost did it. If it was enough bubbles in the tub, I would have been in the tub with some candles talking to you guys. I'm telling you, I'm game for that. I'm game.
I would have been with it.
I'm like, that's the only interesting spot in this entire room. So I would have did it.
And then there's you.
Point, I didn't hear you.
I said, and then there's you. You said it's the only interesting thing in the room. I said, and then there's you.
Yeah, me naked in the tub. That's me.
Naked or not naked, Solette, you still the most interesting thing in the room.
Well, thank you.
I thank you for one, expanding you and your work, and just you have elevated Reclamation Project in ways, right? Because you have introduced, you are the first sculpture that we've had installations, we've had paintings, and we've had photography. But your piece is the first sculpture that I've ever featured in my exhibit.
I knew that's what I wanted to do.
And I thank you for being a part of it.
As soon as you said yes, that was my first question. Can I do a sculpture?
Can you do
because
sculpture?
I love building outward, and I can paint, but I like the whole idea of the 3D. I love the 3-dimensional.
Want to be raised. And so for those, we've been talking about the Reclamation Project for She Who Is. The closing reception is tomorrow from 7 to 10 at Tri-State's Tattoo Company. And RSVPs required, masks are required, because like you said, it's COVID-y out there. And it's getting cold. And I just don't want everybody sneezing and coughing on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so the masks work. The masks work, people.
Masks work, and regardless of your status. And just come and be a part of this. It's an experience, y'all. I'm saying that, yes, but it's an experience. Everyone that I've talked to has just really just marveled at the work. And we'll be there tomorrow from 7 to 10. And I appreciate
beautiful work. Beautiful work. Just walking in there, it was a bunch of them I looked at like, ooh, I would like to 3D this. I'd like to 3D that.
You're trying to take it and do it.
And
do your rendition of it.
Oh my goodness. Especially, both of the ones on each side of me, seriously. Almost the photograph next to mine. On the left side, with the black and white? Yes. That's Aaliyah amazing. I'm telling you that's Aaliyah. That was seriously an original idea, because in my head I was thinking, we almost had the same. It would have been a big old booty on that wall. I'm telling you, I saw that. But the oil painting on the other side. Dizzy, phenomenal work all around the room. Phenomenal work around the room. You gotta come. Look, I'm gonna have stickers for sale. I'm gonna have magnets for sale. Linda Costa is selling prints. So y'all gotta come out, and so really y'all can come tomorrow, and we gonna be somewhere in your budget. Somewhere in the budget. We're gonna be somewhere in the budget. So so bring that paycheck. Bring that credit card. Bring that. Look, I got the swiping paycheck, people, for some good art. You can give up a paycheck. It's an investment in Black women. How about that?
It is supporting, it's buying from a Black woman, it's supporting a Black woman, it's supporting families. And, just come on out. Come on out.
It's
I love
crazy,
you.
Beautiful, dope art up in there.
I love you, and I appreciate you, Solette, so much for doing
you.
this. Because look, I told you, I said, you don't have to, Solette. I really want you to, but you don't have to. And you said, I'm gonna do it because you want me to. And
because I'm telling you, a sister was nervous. I don't know. I didn't know what I was gonna say. I wasn't sure something was gonna fall out that wasn't supposed to. Sometimes my filter is off. It's all the way off. So I'm like, okay, am I gonna tell secrets I'm not supposed to? I'm gonna have to rewind and check to see if I told something I wasn't supposed to anyway. I'm gonna have to check.
It'll be back on. So it's gonna give it a few minutes. You can watch the whole thing when we get off live. I'm gonna actually upload it and put it to YouTube. It'll be there probably tomorrow on YouTube. I'll send you the link.
I love you crazy. But girl.
You'll be doing
crazy.
I love you too. You'll be doing more of this, Solette. So
I mean, I'm sure. Anytime I hear like the first word AR, I'm gonna be like, art? You talking about art?
No, ma'am. This is Aardvark Palace.
We're eating bugs here. Well, I can sculpt that.
This is not art.
I can sculpt that.
I can sculpt that too.
I can sculpt that. Is the tongue coming out the mouth at the bug? What are we doing? Let me know.
So stay on with me. I'm going to end this live. I appreciate those that were watching live. I appreciate those that are going to watch the replay. Share this. It'll be on my personal page. It'll be on the Reclamation page. So I know you're going to share it. It'll be all the places. Share. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone that's watching. So let's stay on, and we're going to end this right here and now.